commanders that the U.S. military would be used against what he calls the enemy within, pointing to Democratic-run cities that he has long said have high crime rates.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth also spoke at the unusual gathering in Quantico, Virginia, and he reiterated to the generals that the purpose of the department would exclusively be, quote, warfighting.
Joining us now to talk about all this is NPR Pentagon correspondent Tom Bowman. Tom, before we get to the president, what stood out to you about Hegseth's remarks?
Well, what he said about toughening physical fitness standards for those in combat jobs, so we're talking armor, artillery, and infantry. He said he wants both men and women to achieve, quote, the highest male standard in such things as lifting weights, carrying an ammo box, running. So there were some 600 female Marines in those jobs. In the Army, 3,000 or 4,000 women in combat positions. And I'm told you could lose more than 20% of those women in those jobs if they have to meet the highest male standard. Now, Hegseth said that wasn't the goal. Let's listen.
If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result. So be it.
Hegseth also said it may mean weak men don't qualify.
All right, so Hegseth has long criticized what he calls the Pentagon's woke culture. What did he have to say about it yesterday?
Right, he said the Pentagon was the Department of Woke, and now it's the Department of War. He said he's ending the war on warriors, and saying that some were promoted for their race or gender. Of course, he fired the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General C.Q. Brown, the second African American to hold that job, indicating that he got the job not on merit, even though Brown was a key figure in the defeat of the Islamic State. Hegseth also thinks overall the military has not been tough enough. Too many lawyers second-guessing troops on rules of engagement in war, or bullying or hazing of troops. He also wants drill sergeants to be much more tough on recruits.
The president has defended the use of U.S. troops in American cities. He specifically mentioned Democratic-led cities such as Chicago, describing it as overrun with crime. NPR reporting, though, shows that crime is falling there and also in many other cities. So what exactly did he say about the use of the military domestically?
Well, Trump said the U.S. should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, saying mostly Democrat-run cities have crime rates. As you mentioned, the crime rates have been dropping. Now, Trump's comments were denounced by Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, a top Democrat in armed services and an Army veteran. He called it dangerous. He said treating our own communities as war zones and our own citizens as enemies.
Tom, you've spent some 2 decades embedding with U.S. forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. What's your reaction to Trump and Hegseth talking about a, quote, woke military?
Well, it's kind of a caricature. People I spend time with in combat zones, they say we've always had a warrior ethos. And it's important to note, that women have received medals for valor, and more than 150 women passed the grueling Army Ranger course at the same standards as men. Hegseth has neither a Valor Medal nor a Ranger tab.
All right, that's NPR's Tom Bowman. Tom, as always, thanks.
You're welcome.
This is everything you need to know about the government shutdown. When the clock strikes 12 a.m. on October 1st, the United States federal government will literally shut down. Employees and contractors will not be getting paid. There will no longer be any releases of any economic data. This includes big reports like CPI and PPI, and most importantly, no jobs numbers. And the shutdown is expected to last 6 days until Monday, October 6th. But if this were to get extended, that would be very bad. Analysts are expecting for every week that the government is shut down for the GDP to be reduced by 0.1%. In my opinion, this would be very bearish for the markets if it were to last longer than 1 week. Not to mention that the United States has not seen a government shutdown since 2013. I expect the market to be extremely volatile, so make sure to be on high alert. For day traders, this volatility could be a dream, but for long-term investors, we need to be very aware. We are just hours away from this shutdown. Let me know in the comments how long you think this is going to last.
Shalom. First off, I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Also want to give a double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this word, and the brothers who teach down with sincerity. And as you can see, more plans with a NWO plan. These things that they're doing is not bizarre. It's what you should have expected. You know, if you in this thing of ours, of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, so first of all, they had the government shutdowns. All right, and you heard what's that going to affect? All the SNAP benefits, the HUD, and all the government assistance. That's going to affect them. All right, so that's pretty much going to affect our people. Then you hear him say in the first video that he plans on using the military when he had that conference for the military within. I mean, for a problem within, which is you Jakes. All right, so more of Esau, devil coming down with great wrath because he know that he have a short time. This is more of Esau showing his horns, coming for the Lord's people. All right, because all this is going to affect you. All right, and more order out of chaos, more riots, more violence, more people mad, more people without jobs. What it says, 700,000, I may be wrong, will be losing their government jobs. This is complete collapse of the system. That's what this is, complete collapse of the system. You got four countries, government collapse. All right, you got in Vietnam and Thailand, 86 million people losing their bank account and being told to switch to digital ID. You got the citizens of UK being told they can't work or do anything if they don't get the digital ID. Right? None of this is a coincidence. This is all the NWO, all leading to second edges 14, 15, all throughout second edges. It's order out of chaos. And you got uproar of the people. Because that's all this is going to do. It's going to make these people go crazy. All right, let me find it. Second edge is 9-3. Let me get the Apocrypha. Second Esdras 9-3, was it? All right. Second Esdras 9-3. I'm gonna start from the top. He answered me then and said, measure the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And when all these things happening, this is the work of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. This is how the Lord shows us his power and how he proves that the Holy Bible is a real book. It's by showing us these prophecies that happen, and they're happening right in front of our face. You got pages hopping out the book, and you other people still calling on other gods, other books. The Quran and all these other gods can't save you. They don't have prophecy. And you Christians use the scriptures, but y'all butcher the scriptures at your hand, and they say we are, but we're correct. We know these things are coming. We're aware of these things coming. We're not going to be out here panicking, doing stupid stuff when these things happen, as we see them happening in front of our face. All right, and y'all gonna figure out who has the answers, and it's all gonna come back to the prophets. Therefore, when thou shalt be seeing earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spoke of these things for the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, because the prophets have been teaching of this day since the beginning. All right, if you go through all the scriptures, Lord told all the prophets about this day, about these times, the end of times, and we're here. Coming up as a child, they push this predictive programming in your face. They've been pushing that NWO. The NWO's on the back of the dollar. That's what they're in the process of doing right now. So in order to push their NWO and get it established, they have to cause nothing but pure chaos. And that's what you're seeing going on. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so, the times also of the highest have planned beginning and wonders and powerful works and ending and effect and signs. You see the signs, you see the UFOs, you see all the prophecies hopping off the page, you see the uproar of the people, you see fires and earthquakes in diverse places. You see all these signs are the beginning of sorrow. So with all these shutdowns and government shutdown, and Trump threatening the American people, that is really going to happen. There's no way out of this. All right, so this is just to be a short lesson. I'm about to head off to camp and talk more on this. Stay tuned and shalom.